So something that I've started working on recently is trying to get back into side hustles. And more important, or more, probably a better way to describe that would be like passive income. So, obviously there's a lot of projects and equipment that I'm using and doing that requires money. And obviously we have a family, and 2 kids aren't cheap. So the budget for that typically needs to come from somewhere else. Usually it's from selling things, selling cameras, and kind of recycling the money back into the pocket, so to speak. But lately I've been trying to lean a little bit more towards that kind of extra source that isn't, selling things that we have to recycle the money to then spend it on new things that we need or want. So I've looked into a lot of things. I've looked into selling things on eBay, Amazon, Facebook Marketplace, doing digital books, selling photos, because obviously I have the cameras, all sorts of stuff. And, I've never pulled the trigger on any of them, to be honest. And really the whole point of that is I just don't know that I have the time to dedicate to it. For instance, right now, I've been trying to keep up with this schedule, and that hasn't actually been that easy. I started out doing 1 video a day during the week, and they're not very long, obviously, but it ended up being a lot. I think I was able to do that for a few weeks, and it just became too much. So then I kind of tailored it back to doing it 3 times a week. But even that's starting to be a little bit heavy because I'm starting to look into these other avenues. Now, there's other YouTube channels that we make videos on and things like that, there's a parenting channel. We had a podcast at one point, which has been dormant for the last couple of years, again, because we just don't have time. It's not dead. It's still out there. The RSI feed's still active. We still pay for that every month just to keep those episodes out there and viewable. People still view them and listen to them. We did that for almost a year before that became too much. Really, it was the kids they weren't going to bed at a time that we could do recording the podcasts after bedtime, because we had to clean up and do all the dishes and things like that. So not dead, just kind of shelved for the moment. And so now I'm looking back into this again, and I've got multiple channels out there where they kind of just sit there. I've started a coffee channel, a review channel, there's a travel channel, there's a building channel. I think we even have one out there that's dormant, that's like kids only kind of stuff, toys and things like that. So I have all those created. Most of them have gone nowhere or have 0 videos on them, but their space is available should I decide to go that avenue. And something that we're now looking into is kind of leaning back into one of those and seeing if we can't kind of drum up some passive income. So aside from the travel channel that we have, which doesn't get a lot of stuff, maybe 3 or 4 big videos a year for stuff like that, because we don't travel a ton, but we do travel, and when we do, we tend to go somewhat interesting places, I think. But I think what we're leaning towards right now is the review channel. So the review channel has been out there for about 3 years with, I think there's only 3 videos on it, and they were all done in the first couple months. They perform okay, but I haven't done anything with them in quite some time. Lots of plans to, but just never got around to it. So I think we're going to be doing that and starting to see if maybe we can do an Amazon affiliate program with that. So we'll see how that goes. Starting down that path of research, as well as trying to do some actions to get that moving. As far as the reviews goes and things like that. So actually my desk right back here is kind of set up for top-down reviews again. It used to be for, it still is my editing desk, because my actual work desk is over here in the corner of the office, but I've set it up for top-down reviews at this point. That'll change obviously as the things change, but yeah, I think that maybe you'll be going to do that for a little bit. So it means it'll take some time away from this, but I think I should be able to still keep these schedules up, assuming the videos stay the same length and the editing process is virtually nil, which is actually very refreshing from a lot of the other stuff that we're making, because honestly, a lot of it's either heavily edited, cut, or both. And I enjoy, to an extent, video editing, but I don't love it. I really don't. Photo editing, it's another story. I kind of like doing that, but then my photos are all in a disarray, dooms piles. My ADD just kicks in, and yeah. So I don't love it. In fact, I just ordered a little editing box that like has controls on it to see if I can kind of speed up some of that process with shortcuts and things like that. I do need to get a little bit better on it. As you may have seen with some of these videos, they were very rudimentary and crude, although I have all the equipment, using it to its full capability, and editing software has never been my strong suit, but I'm working on that with these videos, you know, trying certain things out, trying to learn some techniques and then applying them to these videos, because they are, again, these are more just kind of therapeutic. I just like doing these. Again, I don't always have the time, which kind of stinks, because I do like making these videos more than probably most of the other ones, except for the travel ones, because they're kind of fun because you get to go places. But then that carries its own amount of stress of making sure you get the right shots and making sure that you note where things are during the day, and shots and things like that. There's a ton of stress that comes with it. Those are very much fun, but these are more fun in the sense of I kind of just turn the camera on, make sure the lights are on, those right now, assuming I stick with that, and then just kind of talk to the camera, which is kind of just refreshing, to be quite honest. I really do just enjoy kind of talking to the camera and having my own space. Although I will say this is the third take of this, because I've been interrupted twice for a plumbing issue, and then also just being walked in on while recording and not wanting to have to recut everything. So just restarting and trying to do one long cut, which is what I usually do, so I don't have to edit everything out. So again, because I don't prefer editing. So yeah, so right now, I think what we're going to try to do is go down that path of kind of trying to figure out that passive income side hustle. And I guess I really shouldn't say it's passive, because quite frankly, a lot of effort goes into those videos of making reviews, more than you would think. And it doesn't just include, you know, actually getting the product. You know, it costs money to get things. Typically, there are ways around that, which I realize. And through my research, I've learned there's ways to get reimbursed for things and things like that. But I don't know if I'm going to go down that path just quite yet. I think right now on the review channel, there's 2 wireless earbuds and one of the electric Jeeps as a review. And I haven't looked at this in 3 years, and I actually was very impressed by what I was doing. And I honestly think that those videos were done by either using a Pocket 2, which really wasn't that great of a camera. I've since sold that on Marketplace. And then I think even my cell phone, to be quite honest, or an older GoPro. I honestly don't even remember. So I did a lot with a little back then. I've got a lot, and I've been doing a little. So I'm trying to kind of do some balance work there. So we'll see how that goes. And yeah, so I'm going to try to see if we can kind of start an extra income stream with that. I don't exactly know how that's going to work, but you know, maybe I'll report back on that and we'll be super filthy rich. I really doubt that. In fact, if it was enough to pay for the cell phone bills a month, I think I would just be happy with it, to be quite honest. So we'll see where that goes. I don't know.